Welcome to the Lancaster City Council meeting. Sorry about that. City Clerk?
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member, Hughes Leslie.
Present.
Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor, Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Tonight, the invocation is with Rocky from Grace Chapel.
Rocky, we didn't have your last name, so can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Pastor Rocky Villanueva from Grace Chapel.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, just thank you so much that we get the opportunity to come here today. Thank you for this wonderful country that we reside in. Thank you for this city, Lord. Thank you for the men and women who protect us day in and day out. And Lord, thank you for the city council. Thank you for their leadership. You have ordained them. We pray for wisdom and insight. To you be the glory. Amen.
Thank you very much.
Please place your hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
So, Jason,
Yes, sir.
you want to do the presentation on the walk and roll?
I have asked Sonia to do that for us today.
Okay. Hi, Sonia. How are you?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. Always welcome the opportunity to brag a little bit about our amazing staff. And I really, truly appreciate council taking the time tonight to recognize a few of our park staff who jumped into action at the walk and roll event. So I'm going to paint a little picture for you. So walk and roll was back in September on the 16th. It was a beautiful, sunny, hot Lancaster day. Temperatures reached a high of about 94 degrees. We had a stage at Lancaster Boulevard in Yucca, and that was one of our hubs for the event. And we had numerous high school bands, marching bands, performing at that stage and prepping for their performances behind the stage. So combined with the high temperatures, the band members and their full regalia, carrying their heavy instruments, we had a number of about a dozen high school band members who experienced heat-related medical emergencies, and our aquatic staff and our Lancaster community staff responded immediately, and they essentially rendered life-saving aid to these students. They were able to quickly hydrate them, cool them down, and as a result of their actions, we only ended up transporting one patient to the hospital versus what could have been a dozen. So their actions really are commendable in the care that they provided to the high school students. The staff did not hesitate to jump into action. Many of them ran to other hubs to get ice and water to bring back to help with the situation. And throughout the emergency, they remained calm and worked as a team. And we even had the LA County fire department crew that responded, and they commended the staff for the actions they took. They said they were appropriate, they rendered their appropriate aid, and they did a fantastic job containing the situation. So I'm exceptionally proud tonight to have these amazing individuals on our team recognized by council. So I'm going to call their names. We have certificates for them. I don't know if Mayor, if you want to come up and hand out the certificates.
When would I ever miss a photo?
Alrighty, I should have wrote their names down. Team, if you guys can call up when I call your name. Janae Walter, she's actually our coordinator for the aquatics. Come on up. Ebony Kidd, Justin Torres, Diana Rosales, I'll give the certs out. Serena Borrello, sorry if I said, can you help? Can you hand him out today? She knows I'm trying to. Danielle Lopez, excuse me. Leah Stovell. Joseph Martinez. Michael Camello. Salina Romo. Juan Quesada. Lucas Babbitt. Still got more. Melissa Varela. Eric Serrano. Christina Smith. Jesse Galvez. Yes, they were prepared. All right. Good, everybody? Here. Jesse.
There we go. Bring it in, bring it in. Yeah, nothing against you, it's just the height thing. I understand. Okay. All right, everybody, give me a big smile. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we have 3 speakers for the, Michael, for your presentation. You want to come up and join the mayor? David Paul?
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to come up here and talk about my friend Mike. I've been involved in city business for many years, and Mike was very active when I began, Sergeant at Arms, when I was just starting out. And I knew Mike, but not very well. And so, you know how there's not a lot of integrity and trust in this world. I was on hold the other day of someplace, and they kept telling me every 30 seconds, your call is very important to me. And, you know, it's just nonsense, and it's more frustrating. But a few years ago, when this happened, 15, 20, I lose track of the time, I was at home in the shower, and I suffer from PTSD anyway. And my wife came running into the bathroom telling me my 6-year-old son told me men just jumped over our fence with guns. And that's the greatest thing I ever did, was put a fence around my yard. But I had my dog out there, my 140-pound Rottweiler, and I was concerned about him, and I'm trying to decipher what my wife and my kid are telling me about the men with guns as I'm pulling up my pants. And that's all I got to do was put on my pants. I'm soaking wet, just in pants, and I walk out the door, and I see these 2 guys, and of course I recognize they're detectives. But I was a little stoked. I says, what? And they told me they were here to serve a warrant on a juvenile black kid that had done something wrong. And I tried to explain to them, well, no, you got the wrong address. And it was tense for a moment because I just wanted them to not give me the hard. But we resolved it, and this is the end of the story. I made great friends with those detectives in the meantime. But Mike was dispatched to my house to apologize to me in the name of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. And that meant so much to me, Mike. The sincerity, the honesty, the truth of you, that meant everything to me, and it turned a point in my life that could have went the wrong way, the right way. So I thank you, my friend, and I love you.
Since we usually don't do speakers on presentations, I'm going to call Jackie and Dave Owens up together.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor Chris, and Council. On behalf of Congressman Garcia, I'd like to honor this remarkable man in front of us as a veteran, as a public servant, as an integral part of our community. Mike, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for the man you are. And if you will allow me, sir, I'd like to share on a personal level a story that, like many of us, perhaps we have opportunity to share with you. But in 2000, my husband and I were able to go through the process of adopting our daughter from China. And there was an enormous amount of paperwork, miles and miles of paperwork. And the last document we needed was from the LA County Sheriff's Department, just to assure China that we weren't mass murderers or anything like that. And we would think that would not be hard to find, but it was. And that was the last document that stopped us from going to get our baby girl. And so somebody had referred us to Deputy Cooper, who was the liaison with the city. And within 2 days, we got that document. And we were able to travel to China. So we affectionately called Deputy Cooper our midwife. Some superheroes wear capes, some superhero wears badges, some midwives wear badges, and that's what our midwife does. So one of the first things we did when we got back from China is we wanted to bring Kate to the station to meet Deputy Cooper and let her know that he's such an important part of our life. And over the years, we got to do that. He got to watch Katie grow up. And he actually was there at Quartz Hill graduation. We've got an incredible picture of what I affectionately call it the coconut. A little hard and crusty on the outside, but soft and sweet on the inside. I wish y'all could see that picture, that smile. It was worth $1 million. Kate went on to graduate from Cal Poly Pomona and is now working in Orange County for an architectural firm as a landscape architect. And Deputy Cooper, this morning when I heard about this event, I had called my daughter and asked her if she could be here tonight to recognize you and to come up and give you a hug and say thank you. And so she came up tonight, and Kate, could you just come up?
One, two, three. Thank you.
And if I could just add, to what my wife said, it was very funny at that graduation where they're waiting, and I was there with my sister. And my sister, I look down there and I say, "It's Deputy Cooper." And she's like, "Who's Deputy Cooper?" And I said, "He's one of Katie's midwives. He's the guy, wearing khaki." And she was like, "Okay, I have no clue what you're talking about." So we told the story, but just you have been such a part of the fabric of our lives. And every time we'd be at an event, we'd be at one of the Thursday nights so that you'd be there, and we'd make sure, Kate, "Hey, Kate, this is Mike Cooper." So thank you so much. It was a small thing, but you doing what you did created a family. So thank you.
I've been mayor a long time. We know that.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know anybody that has been so giving to this city without wanting anything in return. Not self-aggrandizement, not anything. You have just served. You have defined what service means. You know, and you see it in things that all of a sudden we get a grant. Well, how did we get the grant? Mike filled out a grant, and they sent us a bunch of money. I mean, you do things that are unsolicited. You protect people, you care for people, you've written ordinances for us, you know? I mean, I just don't know anybody that is so deserving of this. And, you know, we give these keys to the city to people who we think have done remarkable things. You should have got this, you should have got the first one, you know? And George is saying, hey, I thought those were gold. In your case, it should be gold. It absolutely should. And on behalf of the city, I want you to know that you are truly loved and respected, and we just love you.
I know that. My wife of 50 years.
Together. One, two, three.
I can only say that personally, the 30 years I spent working in Lancaster, I enjoyed every bit of it. I got as much out of it as I put into it, as far as I'm concerned. 100% in, 100% out. So I'm totally good. No.
Any items to be removed on the consent calendar?
CC7.
Is there a motion absent CC7?
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent calendar as currently comprised, pulling CC7.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's vote. It is unanimous. VH1? Oh, CC7. Why did we pull CC7?
That's the one that he's doing the presentation on.
Oh, Sean's doing it. Where's Sean?
He just went down there.
Okay, good.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, members of the community. First, I just want to start off by saying thank you to the Mayor and to the Council for your investments thus far and the next generation of leadership in this community. And when we think about what it means to be a leader, when we think about what it means to be a young person to be a leader, it doesn't always have to look like a city official or a deputy mayor. Sometimes it's about just leading in your community and being a leader in your friend group. And that brings us to the presentation that we have today, Just Snap It, a traffic education safety campaign that we are looking to start here in the city of Lancaster. So just a little bit of history about Just Snap It. Just Snap It is actually going to be an expansion of the Engineering for a Safer City. If you guys think about a master plan, OTS, and the See or Be Seen space, so CNB Scene was established in 2018. You guys know the the wraps on the canisters around the city, the bicycle paths, and there was actually a component to that, a STEAM component to that, that was targeted to youth, and this particular youth was elementary and high school students. So this is a little bit of information to just remind you about CNBC and all of the beautiful activities that we've done in the city of Lancaster with our local collaborators. As you see, there was even a social media page. That was before the rebranding, but we're still advertising CNBC to this day. But then we started asking ourselves, how do we target high school students? And I actually came up with sitting down with a community member who's here today, Nashawn Mitchell from a community-based organization named Soleil of the Community, about an issue that's plaguing my generation. One of the leading causes of death for my generation is accidents. And in my opinion, I believe they're accidents that could have been avoided had somebody had the tools and education to understand the dangers of driving behind the wheel. So over 15,000 young people, teens, between 2015 and 2019 succumbed to fatal injuries due to fatal car accidents. And over 5,000 of those accidents actually involved speeding. Some more interesting statistics about teen driving stats is that 16 and 17-year-olds are 9 times more likely to have an accident than middle-aged drivers. And teens are more likely to underestimate unsafe road conditions and unsafe weather conditions. So we came up with Just Snap It. The S stands for safety. It all starts with safety, and that's snapping your seatbelt, hence the acronym. The N stands for need a ride. If you know somebody that needs a ride, ask them. Try to coordinate that ride. Get a designated driver. The A stands for take action. You have to act. I'm not getting in that car, or you're not getting in that car, or we're not getting in that car. Take somebody's keys. And P stands for peer pressure or peer encouragement. Our previous sheriff captain, actually, he and I went over an hour talking about whether we should use the term peer pressure or peer encouragement, and we're going to use both, and I'm going to tell you why. Peer encouragement is, see you later, man, have a good one, drive safe. That's encouraging your peers. Peer pressure is, why are you being stupid behind the wheel? This is not impressing me. Like, you're not, what are you doing? Put your seatbelt on. Dude, that's a yellow light. That means don't cross the intersection, not ram it. It's things like that. So we need both. We need peer encouragement, and we need peer pressure. So our goal is to help youth establish lifelong safety habits and usher in a generation of safe and responsible drivers, as well as safe streets. Again, safety, need a ride, act, and peer pressure. We are going to be having a steering committee. Our steering committee is going to be comprised of city staff, community stakeholders. We're going to send a direct invitation to these stakeholders, like the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the California Highway Patrol, education stakeholders like the Antelope Valley Education Alliance or the Antelope Valley Union High School District, community-based organizations, as well as through self-selection invitations made at the high schools and the colleges to get young youth and young adults involved in our steering committee. And we're also going to have assemblies at these schools to not just invite young people to be a part of the Just Snap It campaign, but we're also going to invite them to be student ambassadors so that they can be leaders at their campuses here in the Antelope Valley. Just a little, I just want to pause just a second. Every young person, and probably everybody in this room, either has been or knows somebody that has been in a car accident. A car accident that could have been avoided either by the person that was in that car or in another car. And so I just want everybody to keep that in mind, that young people are feeling these losses. The things that we see in the news, things that we see in the newspaper, young people feel that, and they take that to school with them every day. And there already are young people stepping up in their friend groups to lead on this issue. What we're doing with Just Snap It is giving them tools and a platform to expand. So here's the year at a glance. Here's what we're looking to do. So we're looking to go to the Youth for Justice Summit that's happening next month in November, do a presentation there. You work with the Justice Sunday students. As you guys know, during the winter break, students work with the city of Lancaster to put on a production at the LPAC. We plan on talking with those students about Just Snapping and about these stats. and asking them how we should approach this issue in the schools. And then once Justice Sunday is over, they will be de facto student ambassadors for Just Snap It. And again, at Assembly at each school, we're going to go to Teen Talk, we're going to go to the Poppy Festival, we're going to meet youth where they are and say, we know this issue is plaguing your generation, and we have a tool to help you combat it. So, blooming potential. So that brings us to why we're here today. So the recommendations before you are to approve the grant agreement and authorize the city manager or his designee to execute the grant agreement with the Office of Traffic and Safety, or OTS, for the Just Snap It traffic safety program. That's pretty much what I just said, just on a screen. And again, what I just said on the screen. And today is October 24th, and here we are at the council. And that's it. But I do, again, want to say that this is what youth leadership looks like. We can create, we did it with smoking, and then vaping replaced it, but we're working on that. We did it with smoking. We can do it with, we can stigmatize being dumb behind the wheel and stop our friends from dying, our brothers, our sisters, our children. And only if we decide as a generation that we're sick and tired of this, and I believe that we have already, then we can bring that 1,500 number down in this community, and I think that we can create a model for the state, we can create a model for the country, and yeah.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Sean?
Yes.
So you're going to keep stats?
Yes.
I mean, how many serious accidents involving that demographic before, how many 2 years later?
Yes.
Are we in line for that?
Yes, we will keep those stats. We will have metrics that track our progress. We'll even have metrics to see what our campaign, the effect that it's going to have on the community. Our goal is that 10 years from now, that number is cut significantly, if by more than half. We believe that we can do this. We've seen the numbers of cigarette sales drop, and so I think that we can see the number of fatal crashes drop too. I will just say this, and my brother actually, my little brother, he's 16 years old, he's at Lancaster High School. When he was in middle school, he lost a friend to somebody that hit them in their car. We've seen young people trying to impress the driver, trying to impress the passenger. So if we can use Just Snap It to give them the tools, everybody loves a wristband, if we can use that, then the driver is no longer trying to impress the passenger, and the passenger is no longer trying to be impressed.
We need a jingle.
A jingle?
I'm serious, we need a jingle.
Okay.
So let's have a contest, right? And we'll give, what, $1,000 to the best one, $500 to the second, $250 to the third.
I like
right?
that.
Get it out there, but let's come up with a jingle that sticks, you know? I remember when I first started dating, there was a girl who I'm still in love with. Haven't seen her in 60 years, but you know, still in love with her. But she wouldn't go out with me anymore because I was such a terrible driver. You know? And 60 years later, I'm still whining about it. I mean, the power of that is significant. So let's do a jingle.
Okay.
All right?
All
Can we
right.
put that together?
Yes.
I think this is real. This is going to save people's lives. This is a huge thing you're doing.
It just takes one person in every friend group to be like, we're going to take the steps to make sure that everybody gets home safe. We're going to take the steps to make sure that we're driving per the conditions. And it really just starts with that. I remember Just Say No. I remember Click It or Ticket and all of the assemblies that were come to my school as I was growing up. And I always thought they were corny. But it stuck with me. And here we are today.
I like it. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion to approve CC 7.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Now, public hearing item 1, right? PH1, the public hearing is now open.
And we are continuing this public hearing to November 14th, 2023, at the 5 p.m. City Council meeting to allow for additional noticing.
That was exciting.
Wasn't it?
Moving on. New business item 1, approval of the expansion of the Power Choice Solar and Battery Program. You all should pay attention to this one. This is a big deal.
It is a big deal. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. We're on the right slide. All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. For your consideration tonight is the approval of the expansion of the city's Power Choice residential solar and battery program to include commercial and industrial customers. We've named the expanded program Power Choice Plus, and we're excited to share what we believe will be substantial benefits to our commercial and industrial customers through Lancaster Energy. The development of the Power Choice Plus program is a direct response to Council's request to help lower energy costs for our Lancaster Energy commercial and industrial customers. With me today are Kathy Wells, and I'll have them come up. Kathy Wells from the Cal Choice team and Stephen Pollock with Participate Energy. Kathy will provide a brief update on the status of Lancaster's Power Choice residential program. She's also going to share some of the Cal Choice cities that she's currently working with to implement their very own Power Choice program. And then she's also going to share some of the marketing collateral material that Cal Choice and Participate Energy have developed to help get the word out about the program. Stephen Pollock and I will provide, Stephen Pollock here from Participate Energy, and I will provide the nuts and bolts of the Power Choice Plus offering. We'll share 2 test cases that we've analyzed to identify the potential savings to our C&I customers. With council approval tonight, staff will continue to work with Participate Energy and with Cal Choice to develop some program policies and a marketing plan. Our goal is to implement this program the first quarter of 2024. With that, I will turn it over to Kathy Wells to provide her update.
I'll do it for you. Thanks. Good evening. Thank you for having us here. We are thrilled to talk about the Cal Choice expansion piece. And I just want to say thank you to Lancaster Council and staff. Your leadership in piloting the residential project, it speaks volumes. I'm really proud to be a Lancaster resident. And I'm also proud to say that Kathy DeFalco and I were one of the first 2 to put the systems on our homes too as a resident. So here to testify against that. But no, we're thrilled to bring this program to our members. We've engaged 7 of the Cal Choice members with the program. All are either in contract review or are at the final execution stage or have signed contracts to move forward. And to date, we've got 5 CCAs that have received their council approval and are targeting launch. We've got, let's move to the next one. I guess I'll talk about that real quick. Yeah. We do have 2 cities that will be launching in November, and we've got a rollout plan to roll 2 cities at a time starting in November. And we've got Rancho Mirage and San Jacinto, and we also have Pico Rivera and Pomona, and Apple Valley will be next on the docket, and hopefully we've got City of Palmdale and City of Santa Barbara as well. So I wanted to show you a few of the marketing pieces. These are just some of the collateral pieces we've put together for the program, and we will be putting together marketing toolkits for each of our cities. They're working with us. We are hoping to model closely to what Lancaster has done thus far. We can share we've had over 300 orders in the Lancaster pilot. There are 75 currently in construction, and I believe 11 are up and running under construction. So it's been successful thus far. You're going to see much more of the marketing materials for that program as well. Uh-oh.
We know what you're talking about. I don't think everybody else does. Explain the mechanics of the
Sure.
unit, how it works, why it's cheaper to do it, how it locks the bill in. I mean, this is really something
Yes.
revolutionary that you've done, but let them know what it is.
Yes, I'm gonna let Stephen talk about this because this is your bailiwick, and he can
And if you want to flip the mic and talk to the audience, that'd be fine too. Okay.
come on down. I'm not shy, are you?
Whatever the mayor says, we do. Okay, so Stephen Pollock, I'm with Participate Energy. This is really a collaboration that we started on maybe 2-3 years ago with the City of Lancaster, the CCA, Cal Choice, Tesla, and Participate Energy. And the idea was that we saw a lot of people going solar, but there was still some inequity there. The CCA is here to, then the city is here to serve its residents. And unfortunately, as much as we wanted to support people going solar, every time someone went solar, they might have been disqualified for a credit check. It might have been too expensive. And every time it happened, the CCA, which is here to support you, actually lost revenue. So it was really, there was a misalignment that we wanted to work on and then find a way to create a more accessible product and a cheaper product. So we worked with the city, we worked with Cal Choice, we worked with the CCA, and came up with a way to partner as opposed to bringing together a bunch of really big, high overhead, high cost companies. And we really came together to offer a low cost way to go solar with batteries, with no credit underwriting. So even if you didn't have the credit score to qualify, you could still get solar, just like your energy, right? Behind the meter solar and batteries should be as accessible to everyone as getting electricity from Lancaster Energy or Southern Cal Edison. We also wanted to make it easy for people to sell their homes, right? When you have a PPA or a lease product, sometimes it was hard to get the new owner to take it over, and it created problems. We wanted people to be able to have resilience, to be able to have green energy, to be able to potentially have their batteries participate in grid services or virtual power plants. These are some really kind of trendy things you might be hearing out there. And what it really means is, instead of you just being a taker of energy from the grid, you're producing your own, you're controlling your own, and when you want to, you can actually provide services back to the grid and get compensated for it. So we're really trying to change the whole dynamic of how the CCA can be successful and how we can provide these kinds of values to the residents and now hopefully commercial and industrial customers of Lancaster.
So what's the cost? What's the upfront cost?
So there's for the residential program and for the commercial program, it's $0 up front. So this is part of kind of the program benefit. And apologies for missing that. Thank you for the prompt. So $0 out of your pocket, and it's not you getting a loan. If you get a mortgage and you do this program, it doesn't go against your mortgage. So you can actually get solar and batteries and still have more room on your mortgage to buy the house that you want. So $0 up cost, that's all taken care of by Participate Energy, which is the financing part of this. On the residential side, Tesla is the one who you will place the order through. They'll help you through the design process, the installation process, and then once it's built, it's delivered as an asset, as a product to Participate Energy, who then works with the CCA to deliver those services to you. One other really cool feature is you don't have to get confused by having a loan for your solar or battery or a PPA bill for your solar and battery and then a separate utility bill and not understand what's happening. It's really all on one bill that is managed through Lancaster Energy that comes through Southern Cal Edison. So you can really see everything in one place. So it really still is Lancaster Energy being your energy provider.
So if I purchase this, the day you turn it on, does my rate go down from what I'm paying Edison? Does it stay the same?
So, yeah. So it's a great question. So what ends up happening is you have two rates. You have your normal retail energy rate from Lancaster Energy, and then you have your power choice rate, which is for your solar and battery. So the goal is we want to design a system where you're producing and consuming a lot of your power, and now there's net energy metering 3, or NBT, which really discourages sending any energy back to the grid. So we optimize that design, and our goal is to use the solar and battery to reduce your bill as much as possible and consume as little as possible from the grid through Southern Cal Edison and procurement. So the real reduction is your old bill then turns into a new lower bill through traditional energy and your power choice payment. And the sum of these two is less than your old bill. So yes.
The answer to your
Why
question
didn't you start with that?
Yes.
What Jason said. The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
And I was going to say it's lower day one because your system turns on, and I've already seen savings.
Yeah.
So.
And so does that lock in the price?
So the price for Power Choice is locked in for the 25 years, which makes things very predictable. The
Escalator, though, annually.
the solar escalates at 1.9%. The power wall does not escalate, so it's the same price the whole time. And we've seen utility rate increases, above 25% even in 1 year. So being able to have 25 years of visibility if you're on a fixed income or you're closely managing your cost is a big benefit of this program.
So what if the battery breaks
The-
in that 25
Tesla
years?
will replace it or fix it.
Yeah. Oh, we call it O&M. Operations and maintenance is covered in this program at no cost to the customer. It's included in the payments.
So if it breaks, you'll fix it, and I don't have to pay any extra money
That's right.
for 25 years.
Yeah,
And there's no money up front.
correct.
Well, and there's a replacement.
And it's immediate.
But it's included, yeah.
You immediately end up paying less money than you are before you turn it on.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, we're going to record that. That's the new marketing
Oh,
slogan Steve's going to be
okay.
using.
Why
Okay, we're
is there
taking
some
notes.
equivocation there?
The answer is this program is available to everybody, but it might not be for everyone. If you had a $30 monthly bill, then it might not save you money. But most people don't have that, and it'll save most people money. So I just want to make sure. I get nervous about answering the 100% question.
But for people who are paying a lot of money for
Yes.
utilities right now.
100% on that one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The only problem I see with this program is we're not getting the message out to enough people. I mean, I just don't see a downside to this particular program.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, there are future technology advancements that, you're locked into, I guess. But as far as your monthly payment, I mean, a lot of people are really struggling at this point. And every indication is public utility prices are going to continue to rise. Every indication. I don't know where they're going to get the money to pay it because they've pretty much tapped everybody out at this point. I appreciate what you have done on this. This was totally innovative, creative, and it was to deal with a pressing situation. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank the whole team. And honestly, we couldn't have done this without your support and Jason and Trolise and Patty and everyone that's been, and Allison here, that's been incredibly supportive. So thank you as well.
We're the first city in California, right?
You are the first city nationwide
And now we'll
to
be
do
the
this with
first
participants.
commercial and
Yeah.
industrial as well. So
I
we'll
love
have-
to hear that. Say that again.
Yeah. And we have more programs that we want to work on for expansion that will make it, that we think will increase the awareness and demand that we're going to launch here first.
Terrific. Any questions?
I just want to ask one. You talked about commercial. So is any particular commercial? Can you talk a little bit more?
Yeah, we kind of give the
finish it.
background and we'll jump back into this commercial presentation.
So there are some, so obviously you're familiar now, even more familiar with the residential program. Stephen explained, how it works and basically, anybody that's a Lancaster Energy customer can participate. The residential program mirrors what we've developed for the commercial and industrial program in these ways. So as he mentioned, there's zero upfront cost to the tenant. So you don't pay any capital costs. You're not paying for battery, solar. It's all included in your per kilowatt hour rate. There is that long-term pricing stability, right? So it's depending on what type of customer you are and your usage. You could potentially pay 14.5 cents, which is what our residential customers pay now, or a little bit less if you're a higher user. There's no operational maintenance costs, so everything's included. If your battery breaks, they'll come out and fix it. If your solar doesn't work, we'll fix that. And then there's 100% renewable energy and backup power that's always available. Now, because these are commercial and industrial customers, their usage is different, right? They use a lot more energy. They use at different times than your residential customer. So there are some unique or incremental requirements that we've established, and those are listed here. So there's site-by-site underwriting. We're going to analyze basically each person that comes in the door and wants to participate in the program. We're going to analyze them to make sure that this is a good fit for them. We want to make sure that people save money from day one. So that's very important. Number two, site control will be required, and it's not untypical, or it's very similar to residential program, right? You have to be a homeowner, or you have to have permission from the homeowner to participate in the program. There is a reserve, or there's a revenue that's associated with the program. So for every watt that's built in the city will get 40 cents. We're going to keep half of that, so 20 cents per watt, in a reserve, in a special reserve to basically prevent or to basically prevent against any risk, any vacancy risks associated with the program. And then finally, Lancaster Energy will approve every new project that comes through the door. So those are the incremental or unique requirements of this program. And then Stephen can go through this is basically just showing us how the existing residential process works. And the one difference between the existing process and the commercial process is that there will be that analysis that we do to make sure that this is a win-win for both the customer and for the city. Maybe go through that.
So this should look very familiar. This is the residential process. Based on the incremental requirements that Patty went over, we wanted to show that simplicity is key here. We wanted it to map to the existing process as much as possible. The one step we added is the underwriting step. So and underwriting means we're going to look at the bills, we're going to look at the site, we're going to make sure there's savings, which is done a little more deeply than residential because commercial buildings are just different, right? Rooftops often don't have big, wide open spaces. You've got AC units. Can you support the weight? Is the electrical service ready to be interconnected to? So there's just more that goes into it than a residential system, which is why we added that step to protect all of us, really. And so you can see it's really the beginning half where the interest comes in and we kick off, and that's in the orange box, the burnt orange box. And then we do the underwriting to make sure that the economics, the system is viable, everything like that. And then the rest goes from there. It's very similar. System gets built, Participate Energy pays for it, owns it, operates it on behalf of the city, and it's really the same process. So really designed to show you how everything lines up. There's really three kinds of commercial systems we can go after, but the big ones are very big. So we're really focusing on where we have more buildings here, to give examples, which is really on the small commercial and medium commercial size. So the small commercial, under 100 kilowatts, that size is something that we can actually serve with basically the residential program. It's the same pricing. It's the same pricing and the same products that serve those buildings. And you can see the 14.5 cents on the bottom and the $115 for the first Powerwall and $75 for the additional Powerwalls. Everything is the same. The dollars and the size just get bigger, but it's proportional. The idea here is for either small commercial or medium commercial, we're really thinking about targeting a minimum of 10% savings to make sure it's really a good, viable project. So you can see 10% savings really means if your bill is $400,000 a year, then the new bill and the Power Choice bill should be $360,000 or less. Yeah. The same thing with medium commercial and industrial. The difference is just the underwriting it's bigger, the projects are more complex. Some of the things don't necessarily scale. Again, it's a 10% savings. So we really want to get the point across that 10% savings is a threshold. Another big difference is, in this case, we might have to use different products because the Powerwall is really a residential product. And at that point, we need to move to more of a commercial product, which means we'll be underwriting together the whole system design and the whole battery design. But other than that, it's the exact same.
Terrific.
And just to close out, so if we get council approval tonight, the goal would be to move forward, the city and Participate Energy and CalChoice to move forward in developing those program policies, additional program policies, to develop a marketing plan so we can start getting the word out about the program, and then, of course, to launch in the first quarter of 2024. And with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Thank you.
Comment. The guy behind you, he's the CEO of ABTA.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make sure that they're your first customer?
Yes, sir. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Avery.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, Council, City staff, community members. My name is Brian Avery. I'm the co-owner of Bravery Brewing. Actually have almost all of the other partners of Bravery behind me too. I'm just here to quickly talk in favor of the expansion of this project. So I hate talking about COVID, but I'm only just bringing it up to establish the fact that I feel like we're finally past it. Our business has been more robust this year than ever before, but despite an increase, an all-time gross volume of sales, profitability has not remotely gone up proportionally to that increase in sales. A big part of that are things that are out of our control. And the reason why I bring up COVID though too is that forced us, just like many other small businesses, to really just pull everything back, get under the hood, and make sure we were as efficient and as prudent of business people as possible. And that was the only way that businesses like mine were able to get through the pandemic. Despite being more prudent and cautious than we've ever been, cost of goods and other things that are out of our control are just decimating our profitability. And so a program like this for a brewery, and we are a production brewery first and foremost. So we go through a lot of electricity. We have to keep our tanks refrigerated 24 hours a day. We have large walk-in coolers that actually can bring forklifts into. And when we have flex alerts and whatnot, we just can't turn the power off or diminish our power use. And so we are just getting pummeled by our electric bills. Being able to have a discounted and not just affordable, but clean and renewable energy at our fingertips would put us in such a good trajectory and allow us to continue staffing our 30 employees, continuing to give back to the community whenever possible, and just give us all peace of mind that there's going to be a Bravery Brewing tomorrow and the year after that and the year after that. So again, I hope all of you vote in favor of this. I agree with you that part of the issue is that the public just doesn't know about this. The community doesn't know about this program. If part of the program, will be one of its loudest cheerleaders. I can just see it right now. Sun-powered beer, I think would be awesome. So just happy to help in whatever way we can at Bravery. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Could you please make them the first customer and ABTA the second customer? Okay. Thank you very much. All right, is there a motion?
Motion to approve NB1.
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. And it's unanimous. Thank you. Let's take 5 minutes. Good. We re-adjourn. We're back in business. NB2. Allison?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I am actually going to allow Larissa De La Cruz to give the staff report on this, and I'll be here for any questions that you might have.
Yay. Good evening. Good evening, Mayor Paris and members of the City Council. The item before you this evening is an update to the city's sidewalk vendor ordinance. California Senate Bill 946 was signed into law in 2018 and established protections for sidewalk vending activities. In February of 2021, in accordance with Senate Bill 946, Ordinance 1080 was adopted by the City Council. The ordinance identified city requirements to conduct sidewalk vending operations and established operating regulations. In addition to Senate Bill 946, Senate Bill 947 took effect January 1st of 2023 and attempts to further facilitate food vendors to get the required county and city approvals. The purpose of this update is to ensure that the city is in compliance with both state regulations as it relates to sidewalk vendors. Also, as part of this update, staff collaborated with community stakeholders, including vendors and their representatives, to identify updates to the city's laws and regulations related to vendor operations that would allow for fair and equitable practices among the vendor community. Additionally, staff also worked with our public safety team to ensure that the ordinance included language that would address nuisance operations that are out of compliance with both city, county, and state laws. Through this collaboration, the proposed vendor ordinance reflects a flexible and mutually beneficial set of regulations that would offer vendors an opportunity to operate in the city safely and successfully and still allow for public safety to mitigate nuisance and illegal operations. And with that, staff recommends that the City Council take action as indicated in your staff report. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you know, there might be a question.
I'll let Allison answer that.
We agreed to tag team this.
Any questions? Everybody good? Okay, thank you. Brenda Sasso? You're first. Good evening.
Hello, good afternoon, Mayor and Council, staff members, community. I'm Brenda Sasso. I'm a resident right here at Lancaster. I'm representing my team from Salvation Army. We're street vendors. We're here just to tell you that we appreciate all the support and all the tools that you're providing us to keep growing, not only as individuals, but as a community here. So we really appreciate that, and thanks for the opportunity you're giving us to grow as families, as individuals, as I say, as a community. That's our purpose. We all are unique in our own business. We're putting our effort, our hearts, and we are getting educated, informed about the regulations, laws, because we want to be in compliance with all the requirements here to be vendors. Thank you.
Thank you. Anna Castaneda? Good evening.
Hola, buenas noches.
Hola.
Good evening, good evening.
Mi nombre es Ana Castañeda.
My name is Ana Castañeda.
Yo soy vendedora ambulante
I'm a street vendor.
para soportar a mis niños, a mis familia.
To provide for my children and my family.
Y quiero darle las gracias por esta oportunidad que nos están otorgando
I want to thank you for this opportunity that you're giving us
para crecer como empresas minoristas.
to grow as small businesses.
Muchas gracias por todo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Susanna Presidio?
Buenas tardes a todos. Gracias por la oportunidad.
Good evening to all of you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Nosotros representamos la colección de vendedores de Lancaster, vendedores ambulantes.
We are a coalition of vendors, street vendors who represent Lancaster.
Estamos aquí hoy para darle las gracias por todo su apoyo, por escucharnos más que nada.
We're here to thank you for listening to us more than anything.
Y también para seguir adelante y a pedirles que nos sigan apoyando para poder obtener nuestros permisos. Estamos dispuestos a cumplir las reglas y códigos que nos pide la ciudad.
But also to move forward and to continue working with you and hoping to get more support from the city. We're here and willing to follow and be in compliance with the laws and requirements that the city is asking for.
Solo queremos trabajar honradamente, sin ser discriminados, sacar a nuestras familias adelante.
We just want to work. We want to do honest work without experiencing discrimination. We want to be able to bring our families forward.
Muchas gracias por todo.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Carlos Dominguez? Good evening.
Hola, buenas noches, señores.
Hello, good evening.
Ya, mi nombre es Carlos. Yo vengo.
Hello, my name is Carlos.
Yo soy una persona que.
So, Carlos, Carlos, do you have a street vendor outlet of some kind?
¿Tienes un negocio?
Sí, yo soy una persona, tengo mi negocio pequeño, simplemente para soportar mi familia. Yo quiero trabajar honradamente. Yo vendo en la calle, pero no estoy robando, no estoy haciendo nada. Simplemente yo quiero trabajar sanamente. Y sí me gustaría que nos apoyaran a todos como personas. Y no estamos robando nada, pero gracias por todo. Gracias por escuchar.
You've exceeded my Duolingo.
He says he's a small business owner and sells on the street here in Lancaster to support his family, and he's grateful for the opportunity. He says he wants to do honest work, and he just wants to be allowed to work and bring his family forward, that they're not stealing, that they're here to work and to support their families, and they want to be treated with respect, and he is grateful to have this opportunity. ¿Hay algo más que quieras decir?
Es todo. Gracias.
And that's all.
Carlos. Welcome. Welcome.
Gracias.
Juan Espinoza?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Juan Espinosa. I work with Public Counsel supporting street vendors statewide. I'm here. This is a very emotional occasion, as you can see. Really grateful to work with Salva and all of the vendors who have organized to support themselves. These are incredible communities that bring great economic vitality. They bring safety. They bring cultural relevance. They do so much. There's so many intersections of supporting families and autonomy. A majority of street vendors in California are immigrant working class heads of household who tell us very frequently, I don't want to depend on the government. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to move my family forward. So this is a huge, huge thing that the city of Lancaster is doing. I want to thank Larissa and Allison for working with us so much on this, because this has been a long, months-long effort, a very collaborative effort. And I want to say that I've worked with many cities across the state of California, and so far the best collaborative effort we've had has been with Lancaster. So I want to give you all a round of applause and thank you for this, and hope that we can continue supporting street vendors. Thank you.
Thank you. Oscar. Is it, you got to tell me how to pronounce your last name.
It's Iraeta.
Iraeta.
Iraeta, but that's fine, don't worry. So thank you guys. On behalf of Salva, I want to say thank you for support our Heritage Hispanic celebration that we had on October 14. It was a great event. In our numbers, we have 6,000 people attending the event. So thank you, sir, for being there. And the community knows what happened in the event. So and I want to say thank you for vendors. Thank you for being here. Thank you for support us, Jason, Trolleys, Alexis, everybody. Everybody, thank you for working together, shoulder to shoulder with us. You hear some of the testimony with the sellers. So, and our lawyer, Juan Espinosa, thank you for working hard with us. And thank you, because especially for our street vendors, is a victory today. We hope that this new ordinance help our Lancaster community. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And Marcus Alvarez. I didn't see you sneak in, Marcus.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I've been living in the Antelope Valley for the last 25 years, and I observe a lot of things. And one of the things that stood out is how the immigrant population is treated, not just nationwide, but in the Antelope Valley, right? And before I move further, we sat down, Mayor, myself, and Salva, and you wanted to hear the issues, what was going on as they attempt to make a living in this Antelope Valley. Not only did you listen to them, but I can remember clearly what you said is, how can I help? Not very many mayors in the entire United States says to an immigrant population, how can I help? So thank you for opening the doors. The notion that immigrants, whether undocumented or not, they're not taking jobs from anyone. They're taking the jobs that many people don't want. And they do that because they want to work. They want to make a living. And they want to comply with the rules and regulations that health standards hold upon them. So again, thank you to the entire council, to the lawyer of Salva, to Mr. Felix, and the people that support the movement. All they're trying to do is make it a better place, not only for the city of Palmdale and Lancaster, but for their families. Thank you again.
Thank you, Michael. You know, before we vote, I want to thank the staff for making this work. You know, I really like what Salva does. I like the programs they have. I like the impact they're having on people. And what I really like is how well the city worked with them in coming up with a solution and a viable solution that I think everybody's going to win-win from. It was actually it was pretty cool, wasn't it, Marcus? The way it worked. I was really proud to be part of it. Thank you. And with that, I would entertain a motion.
I'll introduce ordinance number 1108.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
And let's vote. You're in business. Okay. NB3, we'll hear,
We have no speaker cards.
waive the staff report?
Yes.
Is there a motion?
I'd like to introduce ordinance 1109.
I
Is there a
second that.
Second? Let's vote. It passes unanimously. We have NB4, the general municipal election, and Andrea Alexander. Do we do it?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm before you tonight to go over the election staff report. So the resolution and items before you tonight is for the April 9th, 2024 election. The resolutions include the calling for the holding of a general municipal election for the election of a mayoral seat and 2 council member seats. Also to request the Board of Supervisors of the County of Los Angeles to render specified services, and also adopting regulations for candidates for elective office pertaining to the filing fees and the candidate statements. It also asks in one resolution for you to provide the conducting of a special runoff election in case there is a tie. And we're also requesting that you direct us to conduct a standalone all-mail, MAIL, ballot, general municipal election and approve professional services agreements with the different vendors, one which is Hart InterCivic, and they provide tabulation software equipment and associated services. Provote Solutions, they provide ballot production, print, and mail services, and Snailworks, who provides mail tracking. The filing period for the election will be Monday, December 18th, 2023, and it ends at 5 p.m. on Friday, January 12th, 2024, with the exception of holiday observations, which will be December 25th through 26th and January 1st. That is all for now, unless you guys have questions.
Any questions?
How will we advertise the election? Is this, like, will we be sending out mail reminders about the general municipal election or posting on our social media or something like that?
I would have to talk with the city manager to see regarding how we would like to proceed with advertising.
Traditionally, we don't do any special marketing. It is an all-mail ballot, so every registered voter within the city limits is going to receive a sample ballot, which not only identifies the candidate statements, but also who they're voting for and for what position. They'll also receive a ballot as well, 2 different mailings. So there's a sample ballot and then another ballot. We, from a city staff perspective, don't do additional marketing necessarily. It is an election, and we and Andrea specifically, has a very third-party role in the mechanism of this, and we take that duty as with the highest regard of what our democracy holds. So we just process the election.
But I will add that normally during this time when things starts to get kicked off, we do put that information on the website. It's under the city clerk department. So regarding deadlines and like any of these resolutions, after they are adopted, you'll see them on the city website and the information regarding the nomination period. So everything is more informational than from an advertising standpoint.
Right, we have to stay away from advocacy. As a matter of law, we have to take a third-party stance. Rather, it is informative.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if perhaps we should do more reach out.
We can carefully do reach out to encourage voting.
Voting, but not.
Voting,
not-
but we can't advocate any candidate.
No, I'm not suggesting we advocate a candidate.
Good.
What I'm suggesting is that we advocate that people should run.
Oh, sure, we can do that.
right? That people should fill out the form and run for office. Can we do that?
Yes, we can provide informational advertising regarding the opening of the period to make nominations and all of the processes, we simply can't advocate for any particular outcome.
Could the city manager have communications put together a program to encourage people to participate?
Sure.
Okay, good, thank you. Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Fran?
Sorry for me.
Hello up there. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the council, and of course, the staff. You're very important people around here. See what I meant? How great Lancaster is? What you do for us as people, as residents.
We're just getting started, Fran.
I know, and I'm so glad that I'm involved in it. It makes me feel so happy. But I have changed the subject before which office is going to be open for candidacy?
The mayor and 2 council seats.
Okay. But we need you.
I'm sorry, what?
We need you.
Well, if somebody wins instead of me, you'd obviously need them more.
Well, thank you. I have more to say, but I especially wanted to find out about that, but I also wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, like I always say, because I love living here. And you people, all of you, do super great work, and I thank you very much, and God be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Fran.
Oops.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'd like to adopt ordinance or resolution 23-61, resolution 2362, resolution 2363, resolution 2364, A, B, C, and D.
And item 6 as stated on the agenda?
What about E?
Yeah, we'll do that too.
I second that.
Okay. Is there a second? Good.
Yeah.
Let's vote. It passes unanimously. Okay. Now, the highlight of the evening. Rocio, come on down. I guess, have a seat. We got to vote first. Okay. I'm nominating Rocio Castellanos. Did I pronounce it?
Yes, you did.
Good, thank you. As the Community Engagement Deputy Mayor, and that's a broad word, broad term, and it's meant to be. But one of the things I discovered about Rocio is she has an ability to reach out to various groups and bring them in and get them engaged. And I think if we have something we could do a lot better is to have more community engagement in what the city's doing. And we saw it with Salva. I mean, that was very meaningful to me, that we were able to work together to improve the quality of people's lives in a significant way. And what I've seen with Rocio is she has the ability to get people excited about things, and I'm really looking forward to working with you, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy the experience. So is there a second to my nomination?
I will second that nomination.
And can we vote? And you are our new deputy mayor.
Right here.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rex, can we get a picture of you shaking her hand?
Yes.
Right here.
One, two, three. Another one. Thank you.
So, well, you wouldn't, when you get older, you grunt a lot.
I don't know what that's like.
I actually typed into ChatGPT why I grunted when I stood up, and it said it's because my abdominal muscles get weak as you age. Gave me a whole list of exercises. So 6 months from now, if you catch me grunting, be sure to tell me, will you? Thank you. Council reports.
I'll start. So this weekend I got to go hunt at the hangar, and last year we had only 6,000. This year, guess how many we had? 11,000 attendees.
Is field drafts?
Yeah. No.
Haunt at that hangar.
Yeah. And it was, I see a lot of families over there, and they had a great time. So it was, and end of the day, they gave away all the pumpkins. So that was a great thing. So everybody went home happy.
11,000 people.
Yeah.
Sonia, you're outdoing yourself.
Sonia did a great job.
It's a team effort, and it's definitely a cross collaboration with all the departments. We have public safety out there, making sure our participants were safe, directing traffic. Finance make sure all of our vendors get paid. So it takes a village to put on the events, and obviously all the park staff do an amazing job in making it happen. So thank you.
I'm incredibly impressed.
And there's a video, right?
Is it to see that your community is coming together in a safe way to celebrate Halloween?
As you can see yourself, it's amazing. I see a lot of kids here with big smile on their face. And I'm not going to give the numbers because I could be wrong, but there's thousands of people here tonight. And everybody's having an amazing time. And I want to special thanks to our staff.
Lancaster City Chief, and he is in spirits. I don't know if you guys can see his red contacts in, but he's ready to celebrate Halloween. Chief, how special is it to see our community come together tonight?
Oh my God, this is fantastic. How can you not love Lancaster? I mean, look at this. Thousands of people coming out. The kids are having a great time, and that's right. We are going to support every way we can. The red contacts are in. It's time to get the fangs, but we'll see.
When you got sworn in, you said safety was extremely important to you. So to see that we are celebrating Halloween safely, how is that reflective for you?
It's wonderful. You know, one thing about this city and this incredible council is they put safety first every single time. So, you know, to come up with this idea where families can come and celebrate safely with their kids and everybody, every age, have a good time is incredible.
So Sonia, putting this together, what was the most exciting part for you?
The most exciting part is always today, getting to today and seeing the families in our community here celebrating Halloween in a safe environment.
And is there any specific moment tonight that has stood out to you so far?
I was walking around the pumpkin patch with our councilmember Raj Mali, and just seeing the little kids in their costumes chasing each other and running around and having fun. That's really the magic of the night, is the kids enjoying themselves and just you know, being kids.
Yeah. Sonia, you've watched this grow from Lancaster Boulevard to now haunt at the hangar for the last 3 years. How much hard work has that taken?
It takes a tremendous amount of work, and really it's not, I don't do the tremendous amount of work. It's my staff who work on this for months ahead of time, planning and prepping, and all the staff within the Parks Department, from the maintenance crews to our recreation coordinators and supervisors and managers. They're all here tonight to make this event happen, and they work on it for months.
It's amazing to me how far we've come. You know? Thank you.
Still in council reports.
Are we? Okay.
I
Wait
thought
a minute,
maybe,
Ken, could we go back to the picture of Ken on the?
I was the guy,
Go on.
no, I wasn't in costume. So we had our quarterly meeting for Destination Lancaster. The group is doing well, and the reports still come in that says that we're on a trajectory to straight up in relationship to occupancy. So all the hoteliers seem to be pleased, and numbers look good. And then they did say, because we had a meeting today, and they want to make sure that we have some flock cameras ordered for the hotels. Just FYI.
Love to do that, sir. Absolutely.
Flock cameras.
That's for the license plates? Good. I find that odd that the hotels want that.
Yeah, they do. We did have the quarterly meeting of the NCTC. Ken, Lauren, and myself were there. We did discuss without Caltrans the different problems that we're having on the 14 freeway. And I would remind everybody that I lost faith in Caltrans when they said that putting crosswalks will alleviate a lot of the problems on the 14 freeway. So that's a true story. We did meet with Caltrans on Friday. Me and Jason met with Caltrans on Friday and at Tom Lackey's office. And it was 8 of the top officials from Caltrans. We expressed our discontent with Caltrans, and they did agree to sectionalize the 14 freeway. And what that means is they're going to break it down into either 4 or 5 mile sections. And they are going to.
You got to tell them 4 or 5 mile sections for what?
I was getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Trying to help.
4 or 5 mile sections that will be closed at one time rather than the 29 mile or 27 mile section that is closed now. We told them the communication need to be upgraded. We asked them that that be upgraded, so they're going to go back to the contractor. They're going to rebid the contract at no cost to the city of Lancaster and actually put it into sections, which hopefully it will be better. We haven't seen it yet, but that's what they said, and it was the district director of Caltrans that actually met with us. So we're hoping, but we did get the commitment from her. She did apologize to us, the city of Palmdale, for what they've done and how they did it, and said it was unacceptable. Moving on to AVTA. AVTA started to look into a parcel tax in what was the best way to do a parcel tax, because all the transportation places are looking at a fiscal cliff 2 or 3 years from now. AVTA is only looking at it at probably 4 to 6 years from now. So what that means is every parcel would probably be taxed 30 or 40 cents. So we do not like to tax anybody. I think we're taxed enough. But we have to look at other avenues to get money to run it. One of the major problems is the county, sorry, Chuck, they do not pay their fair share of the transportation costs. The city of Palmdale, city of Lancaster pay about $1.5 million each, and the county pays $600,000. The county gives the city of Santa Clarita $3.2 million for 200 road miles of county right-of-way. They give us $600,000 for 1,200 miles of roadway. So it's a little unbalanced, and we want to balance that up a little bit. But if we either have to cut service, or the county has to start paying their fair share, or we need to raise money elsewhere. So those are our choices. We're looking into exactly what does that mean if we were to I'm having a hard time saying raise taxes, but that's what it means.
Hey, Chuck, don't make us raise taxes. I mean, come on, just give us our fair share. Could you convey that to? I mean, we just want to be fair.
We've been talking to the supervisor for 4 years.
Well, there are 5 of them. I mean, you know, she's got to get the votes first, right?
Please do.
No, she has discretionary funds in her own district. The Prop A money from the
moving on.
Okay.
On a positive note, I would like to share with the students of our community that MetroLink continues to publicize and encourage our students to take advantage of the Student Adventure Pass. And what that provides is free rides on the train for our students. So please take advantage of that, explore, go on adventures, and do it safely.
Is it safe?
We're working on it.
Well, perhaps we should make it certain it's safe before we invite the kids to.
You know, the horse, the cart, we're working on it.
They did commit to us at the NCTC that they would increase the security and the law enforcement on both platform and fare evasion. So
when does that start?
They said they were going to get right on it. They're looking for the money to do that. But the Antelope Valley line is the largest or the most used line out of all the Metrolinx lines. So we just want them to make sure that it's safe.
Good. Thank you. And I know you're working on it. I do know that. Thank you. You know, this thing Marvin talked about with Caltrans, think about what he accomplished there. That was huge. we're talking about a 2 or 3 hour traffic jam every single day versus 10 to 15 minutes. You know, I mean, that was a huge accomplishment. And it was all Marvin, make no mistake about that. For some reason, they're responsive to you.
They did not like me at the NCTC meeting. First time in.
That's not unusual, by the way.
First time in 14 years, they didn't show up. They phoned it in. And I didn't let them speak.
When Marvin he is the chair, but one of the things he did was, if you were late, you didn't get your stipend for it. He was not very popular with his other board members, but they started showing up on time, didn't they? Okay, where are we? City manager.
Yes, sir, a couple quick ones. You do have a video from the Salva event, so you wanted to give them a shout out. I know they were earlier, but we'll play that video real quick. That the Salva event this weekend was fantastic. We had staff there, and of course, we had council there represented there as well. So
I had the best time there.
Yeah, it was a short video.
Thank you.
A couple quick things. We have Red Ribbon Week. Say that fast. Red Ribbon Week, October 26th, and we're going to be talking about drug awareness in partnership with Palmdale. Raj is going to be leading that effort with the fentanyl effort and the education program that we have going on. So we'll be actively engaged in that through Public Safety Office. Of course, parks, although they've been busy doing many things. We've got the Senior Walk Club that's operational. Field of Drafts, November 4th, another huge event at the hangar, so come on by, and it's going to be a great time. The Boulevard Market, last event is on Thursday, October 26th, so that's going to be closing up for winter. Camp Chill, Winter Coat Drive, Coffee with the Deputy, Trunk or Treat coming up, Milk and Cookies with Santa, go down the list. Parks Department, this is their busy season, and they're doing a phenomenal job, so shout out to them. And then our Community Development Team and Economic Development Team is going to be heading to ICSC, trying to get those new restaurants and shopping centers and things located with us. And then Smart and Final Ribbon Cutting is tomorrow morning. So we have a new place to shop and new opportunities for our community. And that is my report.
You should get a job in Hollywood. Do you hear that voice? It's perfect, wasn't it? Thank you.
This is the time to address the City Council Agency Authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards may be found on the back table of the council chambers. If you have completed a speaker card, please ensure you have placed it in the basket so that you may be recognized. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please keep in mind, state law prohibits the City Council from acting on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the City Manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Fran?
Good evening again. Thank you for listening to me. I brought a group of people from the apartment building, Cedartown Square. The reason they're here, I suggested they come because they need to speak out and to be heard, because they call and they're not getting heard. And I know Ron is doing a terrific job at what he does, but I think it behooves the city to listen to their problems, because it's pretty astronomical what they're going through. And they need you. Thank you very much. But I got a good note to send real quick. I want to put a plug in for myself. I was just reelected or reappointed as an LA County commissioner for the for the Aging and Disability Department. So I got another 3 years to work. I didn't realize I had already worked 3 years, but I still need 3 more. I need more time to get done what I have to get done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Leanne Carlisle.
Hello, Mr. Mayor and fellow council members. My name is Leanne Carlisle, and I live at Cedar Town Square. I've lived there for about 16 years. I've lived in the Antelope Valley for about 33. There's been about 12 of us here tonight representing Cedar Town Square. Mr. Mayor, we're having so many problems with safety. We live in a gated community that's not kept gated properly. Our gate is open. We're between the library and the sheriff's station behind the old hotel, just to show you where we are. So on the library side, that gate was open for 2 months straight. The managers have it fixed, but then it breaks and it breaks and it breaks. So through that, we've had a lot of trespassers, and just in the last few months, we've had a lot of crime. We've had things stolen, even food boxes that a church comes and brings to us, packages from UPS, things like that are stolen. We see things that happen there that look to us like it could be possible drug deals and also prostitution, where there's just a lot of people in and out of certain apartments all the time. Last Saturday, someone even scaled the wall to get over that particular apartment's balcony to get in there. And I can't tell you how many trespassers we've seen. Some of the seniors, we're all seniors, by the way, and some disabled. And they try to get pictures and things like that. We're told by manager, don't accost them, but we want to stand up and say, you know what, you don't belong here. We don't let them in the gates if we don't know them. But a couple weeks ago, I was verbally accosted by someone, one person in particular, the one whose apartment was somebody broke into or got into by scaling the wall. And he yelled at me for not letting in his guest. Well, that's not our responsibility. And so many things are going on there, and I'm sorry it's going on in this particular apartment. And so we're not going to let in his guests. We're just not going to do it. But unfortunately, our manager was at my door in 3 minutes because he went and complained about me, you know, sticking up for myself and for my neighbors. So we want to bring this to your attention. I actually have a packet of grievances. And even as I was leaving tonight, someone handed me one, and it's about the gate, that kind of thing. We have gates that are really easily opened. If you stick a broom on the other side, you can open it from the outside. And people have been doing that, and we're scared. We're scared. People are banging on our doors in the middle of the night, and we haven't caught them. We don't know who they are or why they're doing that, but it's happened more than once. It's a rash of things that are happening there, and we need some help and some support. I do want to say this, and I know I'm over time, but I just met Chief Armelin tonight, and he encouraged me because he said he's trying to put together a program where the police will come, you know, police and or sheriff will come every 3 or 4 months and make their presence known and check it out. Something like that would be awesome. We can do neighborhood watch. We kind of do that unofficially anyway. But if we could have more presence there, something to let them know you can't do this at Cedar Town Square. You can't, because we're protected. by you and by the sheriff and police.
I apologize that we are not doing a better job. We as a city, if we cannot take care of our seniors, we shouldn't be proud of anything we're doing. And I am tired of hearing this. I am tired of having seniors come up to me on the street and tell me how frightened they are. If we have to hire vigilantes, hire them. I do not care what we have to do to put an end to the transients victimizing our senior population. We just gave a key to the city to a man who was a police officer who was knocked unconscious on Lancaster Boulevard by one of these transients. This is no longer tolerable. I'm not just up here talking, Jason. I don't care what you have to do, who you have to hire, but these senior living places are going to be safe within 30 days. All right? I absolutely mean that. I don't care how much we have to spend it. I also want to see, Allison, an ordinance that we can yank the licenses of these apartment complexes if they do not protect their tenants. Yes, it's expensive to seal an apartment from the out, to keep transients out. It's expensive. They make a lot of money. They need to spend some of that money on the security. And leaving a gate open for months, I'm absolutely serious with this. We will yank those licenses, which forces them to sell it to somebody who maybe will do their job. Anybody have any comments or concerns about that? I mean, I know that I have the agreement of the council that safeguarding our seniors has to be a #1 priority. Actually, how I prioritize things in life, children, seniors, if there's anything left over for everybody else, and there always is. All right? But we will make this a priority in our lives.
Thank you.
If the council has to take turns patrolling the apartment, I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what I'll do, because I know what follows me when I go someplace. I want them safe, and I want them safe now. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And please, don't applaud this. We are failing. We shouldn't be applauded for failing. We are failing. The fact that you have to feel that way, I sincerely apologize. We will do whatever is necessary.
Thank you.
Tell them not to take your rights away as far as they're taking your recreation away from you and your right.
Yeah, we've had other issues with this building too, with the owners and the management. One thing we might be fighting right now is they want to take away our rec room, and they want to make it an office because it's got bathrooms.
One step at a time.
Okay.
And I don't know that they would be allowed to do that because of your leases. You guys leased apartments with a rec room.
Yes.
They're not able to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
It's good to know that. Thank you, sir.
And maybe, Allison, we have to provide legal services of some kind. But
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the code right now. It may already cover us, so let me take a minute with it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Can I give you the information I have, or shall I?
Yes, just give it to Allison, and
Okay.
she will distribute it to us.
Thank
Okay?
you so much. all
Of
of
course.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we done with the city manager? We're done with the city clerk?
We're on public comments. Were there other public comments?
No, that was it. We're all done? Any comments from the council? We're all good? Thank you. That includes the deputy mayors?
Yeah, I just wanted to say how excited I am to welcome Rocio aboard. When I worked for Senator Wilk, I've seen Rocio in action, and I can't wait to work with her on this council and on the deputy mayorship. Also, I did want to let the council know that I was earlier this month appointed to the California Association of Youth Courts, and I'm going to be working closely with your youth diversion program and Chief Armelin to get the youth court back up and running after COVID. And our staff, under our public safety director in chief, has been doing great when it comes to youth diversion in our community. I've talked to administrators, I've talked to students, I've even talked to parents, and they thank the City of Lancaster and Antelope Valley Education Alliance for turning some of these young folks around. And some of these young folks actually in the truancy department have become untruant and are now interested in joining Impact or being a part of their city, whether it's just Snap It or any other community events. So we are making Lancaster safer, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're now moving into closed session to discuss 1 through 28? Not really, right? Not really. Okay, good. Thanks for coming, folks. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Unless you want to stick around when we come back.
That was well done. That one was good. That was really good.
Yes, in closed session, the council took up agenda items 1 and 14 and gave direction to staff and legal counsel. No reportable action. Your mic is not on.
Before we adjourn, anybody have a burning desire to say something? We say that in AA meetings, just so you want to know where we got it. Anybody? No? Okay, good. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November 14, 2023 at 5 p.m. The meeting is adjourned. Carol, warm up the spaghetti. I'm coming home.